Hi, I'm Richard Huddy, AMD's Chief Gaming Scientist, and I have the privilege and honour of being out here in Sweden today, visiting DICE, who are today putting together Battlefield 1, one of the most anticipated games of all time, and certainly of 2016. Let's see what they got. So we've done a couple of things recently on the technical side with shader intrinsics. Do you want to tell us what shader intrinsics are?
So shader intrinsics is basically just taking a step further from DX12. We really utilize the power of the GPU and the instruction set there to a wider extent. Since those differ a bit between the hardware manufacturers, with intrinsics you can actually get more performance out of the GPU than you can without, basically. It's like we have intrinsics on the CPU as well, when you run for SSE instructions, for instance. And this is basically the same thing. Instructions that aren't really available in the base set of DX12, but with intrinsics they are. And intrinsics gives you better performance.
And the target with frame rate on PC, I assume, is not locked to any particular frame rate. How do you set yourself a target there? What do you aim for?
So on PC, basically you either want to have no tearing or FreeSync. There you'll have basically just 60 if you have FreeSync on. If you have VSync off, basically we go up to as high as we possibly can. And on PC we also have like quality levels, so you have low, medium, high and ultra. So you can set that depending on basically what kind of hardware you have and what kind of visual fidelity you want.
Compared to previous Battlefield titles, we've made sure that as the user increases the game's resolution, not all the effects linearly scale up at the same rate with that resolution, particularly effects where the higher resolution would not provide as much of a benefit. Scaling these in different ratios significantly improved the performance at higher rendering resolutions without any visible difference.
Games players notice that when you raise the fidelity, you usually have to trade off performance. How do things stand this time around? What have you done with that?
We have increased the resolution of our virtual texturing, which is a component we had rendering far backdrops before, but now we have it all the way in and it's much more high res and it's very fast, so we can have a lot of terrain textures at the same time, so we can capture more realistic landscapes basically.
Games players love big things blowing up. So what have you done with destructibility and so on? How are your terrains?
Battlefield has always been heavy on the terrain, and Battlefield 1 is not an exception. Imagine an explosion going off on terrain. You're not only changing the shape of the terrain, you're also changing the materials. Now you can go in further and enjoy the terrain. You can create a vastly different landscape. If you play through a match of Battlefield, it would look very different from when you started.
So AMD has been very focused on performance, and this has helped us really improve the PC performance of our games. AMD has been very responsive to requests for assistance from our side, and the openness in which AMD provides the specification for the GPU also allows us to optimize our game better for AMD hardware.